All right, let's jump right in. We are talking about kimchi today, but this is so much more than just a food explainer. It's really a story about national identity, a history that's full of surprises, and some seriously powerful science, all packed into one amazing dish.
This quote, it just nails it. It really gets to the very heart of what kimchi means in Korea. It's not just another option on the table, it's the default flavor of life. It's the constant, the companion to pretty much every meal, and that tells you everything you need to know about its place in the culture.
So first up, let's really unpack kimchi's role as Korea's soul food. It's a national symbol, and it's so deeply woven into the culture that when another country recently tried to claim its origin, well, it sparked a massive national conversation. That's how much this stuff matters.
And it is no exaggeration at all to say it's part of every meal. I mean, whether you're having instant ramen, a simple sweet potato, or just a bowl of plain white rice, kimchi is gonna be there. And of course, it's the star in classics like kimchi jjigae and kimchi bokkeumbap. The culture is so kimchi-centric that you'll see people eating kimchi fried rice with a side of kimchi stew, and yep, more kimchi on the side.
You know, this cultural status has even been cemented on the world stage. Back in 2013, UNESCO recognized kimjang, which is the whole communal tradition of making and sharing kimchi, as an intangible cultural heritage. And even before that, in 2001, it got an official standard from the Codex Alimentarius, which basically established the Korean kimchi as the global benchmark.
Okay, let's move on, because this is where the story takes a really fascinating turn. That fiery red Napa cabbage kimchi that we all picture in our minds, yeah, it's not nearly as ancient as you'd probably guess.
The name itself actually gives us a big clue. The original term was chimcha, and it meant something really simple: salted vegetables. That's it. The whole point was just a basic way to preserve things. Over hundreds of years, the pronunciation slowly shifted from chimcha to dimcha, and then finally it landed on kimchi in the 19th century.
And here's the real twist. The two main ingredients that define modern kimchi, that bright red chili powder and the crunchy Napa cabbage, are not native to Korea. That brilliant red color we all know, it's a surprisingly recent invention.
This transformation was incredibly slow. I mean, we see records of fermented vegetables way back in the 3rd century. But chili peppers? They didn't even arrive until the 17th century, and at first, people just thought they were weeds. The real turning point was a horrific famine in the 1670s that made salt impossibly expensive. So people started using chili powder to help preserve food with less salt. Napa cabbage showed up even later, becoming common in the 19th century. And that's when the modern kimchi we know was finally born.
Just look at the difference here. It is staggering. Ancient kimchi was basically radish and some other veggies in a simple saltwater brine. Modern kimchi is this complex explosion of flavor with Napa cabbage, chili powder, garlic, and fermented seafood called jeotgal. It's almost a completely different dish.
Okay, let's move to our next section and see how this one simple idea, salting and fermenting vegetables, just blossomed into an entire universe of different styles.
Over 300. That's the estimated number of distinct types of kimchi in Korea. Forget about 31 flavors of ice cream. Korea has 10 times that in just one category of side dish. It's incredible.
And these varieties are intensely regional. In Seoul, for instance, the style was shaped by the royal court, so it's more elegant, less spicy, very refined. Then you go to the central Gyeonggi province, and they start adding fresh seafood. Head east to the mountainous Gangwon region, and you get these earthy, pungent kimchis made with things like mustard leaves. It's like a culinary map of the country.
Then travel down south to Gyeongsang, and the climate completely dictates the flavor. Because it's warmer there, the kimchi needs more salt and chili to slow down the fermentation process. The result? A bold, really spicy and salty flavor profile, with all these unique varieties like chive and perilla leaf kimchi.
So we've covered the culture, we've covered the history, now let's get into the science. Because kimchi isn't just a delicious tradition, it's recognized all over the world as a powerhouse superfood.
Let's start with a problem that most of us are familiar with. Back in 2015, the World Health Organization classified processed meats, things like sausage and bacon, as Group 1 carcinogens. That puts them in the same category as things like tobacco smoke. But here's the amazing part. Korean researchers discovered that eating those exact same processed meats with kimchi can actually help lower the carcinogenic risk. It seems like the anti-inflammatory compounds in ingredients like garlic and ginger actually help neutralize some of the harmful stuff in the meat. It's a perfect case of ancient food wisdom being proven by modern science.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. One university team looked at over 590 scientific papers on kimchi and identified a whole list of benefits. Beyond its anti-cancer properties, it's known for improving digestion, helping prevent allergies, aiding in weight management thanks to the capsaicin in the chili, and it even has powerful antibacterial effects.
And for our final section, let's zoom all the way in on the living engine that drives all of this, the incredible world of kimchi probiotics. Now, what makes these probiotics so special is just how tough they are. The bacteria in kimchi have literally evolved to thrive in this harsh, salty, spicy, and acidic world. That makes them way more robust than the probiotics you'd find in, say, yogurt. In fact, if you were to put dairy-based probiotics into a jar of kimchi, they would die almost instantly. Kimchi probiotics are survivors. And the fermentation process itself isn't just one thing. It's a journey. It's a living food. Different kinds of good bacteria take over at different stages. In the first week, you get a bloom of Weissella, which has been linked to cancer prevention. By the second week, Leuconostoc takes charge, and that's known for helping to cleanse the intestines. Then, after week 3, the famous lactobacillus strains, which are great for colon health, become dominant.
So this all leads to the big question, right? When is the best time to eat kimchi to get the most health benefits? Well, the science points to a very clear peak. Around days 7 to 8, the live probiotic count just skyrockets. It goes from about 10,000 bacteria per gram to over 1,000 million. This is its peak potency, when it's still just a little bit underripe. A single serving at this stage can give you billions of beneficial live bacteria before the numbers start to slowly decline.
So from a simple way to keep vegetables from spoiling, to a powerful national symbol, and now to a scientifically proven superfood, the story of kimchi is one of constant evolution. It really makes you wonder, what other ancient foods out there are holding secrets that modern science is just now beginning to understand?